Okay, we are live. %68% CPU. Here we go. Oh, hi Nair, how are you doing? Wow, this looks jumpy. This looks jumpy. And Perry and Andre, hello. How are you all doing? I've had a change of heart about this. I thought I might as well use the audio on this thing, because I figured out how I can hook it up as well. So yes, welcome to part 2 of the Supercolor CPU card. I hope the sound's okay. Nair, you're doing great. Oh, that's good to hear. That's good news. I liked your AVG card video. That was very good. Hopefully the audio is going to be okay. I messed around with this radio mic today, and eventually I just thought, screw it, I've had enough of for now of analog silliness. At one point I was picking up music on this receiver when I was trying to retune it, so I thought, no, that's I've had enough. So I'm using the microphone on the B910 webcam, which points at the desk, because I figured I'm at the desk most of the time, and one thing I did forget to do, because this is actually stereo. Let me see here. Where are we? Advanced audio properties. Mix down. Oh, that should be stereo, hopefully. Yeah, I think. You should have stereo sound, so that should be good. So this may be a new era, a new digital-only era, because I'm really sick to death of these microphones. So yeah, so why don't we use the audio? The audio's here. It's probably got a better amp on it than the original what's on the board, so we might as well use it. And I've done a sneaky test of this thing using the connector that's already on the cable. Not that I'm going to use this. Ultimately it's going to be rigged up to the port on the board. Watching on iPad, no stereo. Alright then, let's have a look. Let's have a look. Logitech B910 down mixed to mono, no. Testing. Hold on. I think I know what the problem is. If we uncheck that and get rid of that. I should have done a sync test beforehand. Right, is the audio in sync? Testing. 1, 2, 3. Sorry about that. Is the audio in sync? Oh, the iPad only has one speaker. Oh, well, that's... Come on. Oh. Well, anyway, I think it should be stereo now. Animals. Hi, maybe a little refresher on what you're working on. Thanks. It's synced. Good. Because I had a 200 millisecond delay for the other microphone, but I figure if the audio is coming through with the video, there should be no need for that. So hopefully I don't look at this later on and find that it's out of sync. Yes, for animals and anyone else who's just joined us, this is the wrong window. Atari 400-800 Super Color CPU card, designed by Jürgen van Radek, also known as TFHH. This is the installation manual, which I have opened because I'm going to use the audio on this thing, and I want the 800 page. So what this gives you is a complete new CPU card, which is already fitted at the back here, which replaces the original CPU card on the board. There we go, it's in focus. And the terminal connector, the terminal block here is provides you with composite video, chroma, luma, ground, and you have a new audio jack. This basically is a UAV solution, if you've heard of Brian's UAV board, which provides superior quality S-video and composite output for stock Atari machines. Here it is integrated on this CPU board. So you need merely slot this board into your 800, do a little bit of soldering on it, and I'm not going to use this. I guess a lot of people bring this out the back where the TV cable used to be, the RF cable. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to wire it to the internal jack. So that's basically what it gives you. It gives you better video, better audio. There's an audible pop every 2 to 3 seconds. Says aminals. Well, I can't do anything about it, unfortunately. Right now, I can only do some audio tests. This is the first time I've used this microphone, so you're just gonna have to bear with it, unfortunately. I didn't set the sample rate on this thing before I started. Let's have a little look. No pops here. Someone was getting pops last night and other people weren't getting pops. I wonder what that's all about. I just want to see what the sample rate is on this mic. That should be fine. Screw it, it sounded alright in the test videos I did. Okay, so the first thing we'll do is we'll rig up the audio, for which we will need the instruction manual. I won't be looking at the chat for a while because I've got this window open. I want to see this. So we're going to wire this up. Get this out of the way first. I should really unplug this actually. I'll take this. I can't take it off, can I? Oh well, screw it. Alright. So the brown wire goes to the lower side of R193. Okay. I wonder if we can do a kind of split screen arrangement here. That would be pretty cool. Let's make a new scene so we can see what's going on. Split. Make a new scene. It's always fun. So to this we're going to add window capture. We're going to add a scene, I beg your pardon. We'll add the schematic scene, and then we'll shrink that down. No, we won't, not like that. No, we don't want to add that. No, I've done that wrong. Get rid of that, try again. Window capture. Add existing. Window capture. That one. Okay. Move that up a little bit so we don't have to see the title bar. Like so. Like so. And then we'll add that one. And we'll shrink that down like that. This is going to be awesome. And then we'll add fill up that corner with me. Okay, this looks good. Can't see the chat, but what? Well, I could drag this out elsewhere. There we go. Excellent. The pop is a Firefox issue on Chrome. It's okay. TFH8 doesn't like my comments on AA. Oh, about the what was it about? I can't remember now. Oh, the mega cart, wasn't it? The cart? The ICs on there. Yeah, humour is definitely a difficult thing to convey. We have to tread carefully there. Right. Let's get this on here. So where is... I could have put the schematic in the corner instead of my face. That would probably be better. Oh, never mind. Lower side R193. R193 is... oh yes. Lower side of R193. Oh yes. See there. See where you are. So that's our brown wire. Ooh, this is a bit fruity to get into. Make a little hook. Make a little hook. Can you see that? I can't see that. Little hook there. Wow, this is tight to get into. Blimey. There we go. That's on. Nice and secure. White and black wire together at the lower side of C-8 ground. Okay. Okay. Well, one's ground anyway, and the other one is what? What is the other wire? SIO ground. That's interesting. So the SIO pin is... that's interesting. So what does the... why are the two separate wires? Is it different on the 400? Ah, so the 400 here That's interesting. So the 400 is a completely different method of delivering the audio. That's interesting. Okay. Right, so these other two need to go where? At the bottom side of this cap. C198. Okay. Right. There's not much room. Not much room at all. Pull that cap up a little bit so we've got a little bit more room to tuck wires under it. But be careful with these caps as well, because and I've broke it. Oh. Yeah, I deserved that. What sort of cap is this? Oh, that was stupid. C198. I could see that breaking even as I dug the screwdriver into it. That was stupid. Let's have a look. Yeah. I've already got this open, I think. So if we go on to here. Right, let's see the cap that I've just broken. C193. It's obviously on the audio circuit, so are you up here? Are you up here? C198. C198. Come on, where the hell are you? I need to find the value of this capacitor and then I can go and get a replacement. Or am I even on the right page? So RAM. Page I'm looking at. Or maybe I'm on the wrong page. Ah, yeah, it does look like I'm on the wrong page. Yes. There we go. So it should be at the back somewhere. No, I'm not seeing this. Maybe somebody in chat knows what it is. PG. I can also hear the pops using Firefox. Well, that's odd, isn't it? Oh, there's Atari Auto. I don't know how you say that. Yeah, hi, how are you doing? I'm trying to find the value of a cap that I've just snapped. Let's have another look at this page. Right, let's look at something nearby. C170, R201, R203. These can't be far away. They've got to be around here somewhere. R203. There's R203, R204. Okay, so I'm right on top of this. So where's C198? It should be right round here somewhere. C190. That's the 4050. Right, what ship is this anyway? Right, it's not R156. If I can find R156, then I'll know that I'm on the right tracks. There's R157, R158. Ah, here we go. I think I found it. C19. Oh no, 189. Oh, this is ridiculous. Ah, found it. Haven't I? C189? No, C198. C189 and C what? Oh, Jesus. So we've got C189 here, and we've got C189 here. They're two different values. Ah, fantastic. Right, we'll take it off and see if we can read it. Oh, there it is. It's a cap to ground anyway, so it may not matter too much. Let me take it off and have a look. There he is, the little bastard. I know I'm right off the end of the desk here and you probably can't see. There we go. Right, let's see what this is. Oh. 104. Anybody remember what a 104? Wow, this pop discussion. The pop is like the one when audio device turns on. In Chrome, it only happens once when you first open the stream. On Firefox, it's every 2 to 3 seconds. First time I see something like this on YouTube. It wasn't there in previous streams I watched. Either they changed something on the YouTube streaming or FJC channel. Well, certainly I've changed stuff on my streaming setup. Let's see if we can figure out what it is. Well, you tell me. 1 microfarad, says Stephen. Hi, Mopes. That's really useful, thank you. Well, let's see if we can do something about it. Which bloody microphone is it? This one. Right, advanced audio properties. I don't know why that's not at full volume. Right, there's no sync offset, there's nothing strange going on. Look at the window properties. Overall Firefox YouTube experience is shit. Notification. Well, this is very interesting. I wonder if I'll be able to hear it on playback. Sound control panel. Recording. Okay. What if I disable the microphone? I've got this. I'm going to disable this EV to USB as well. I'm going to have a look in the properties here. Level's quite low as well. 16-bit 32. Testing. Well, I've fiddled on a little bit. It's gone now. Right, well, what I think it might have been... Hang on. What I think it might have been... Oh, come on. Oh, there we go. Right. It may have been the capture. Right, because we've got this. Where are we? AV to USB 2 is the S-video capture device I used to pick up the Atari video output. So I turned that off. Now, that being a USB device, it wasn't causing a problem yesterday when I was using the other microphone, but maybe with using a USB microphone, I don't know. And I also turned off the analog. So I turned off the analog mic input, which is actually connected to... I can actually unplug that now. That's a good idea. So I've unplugged it as well. So... yeah, well, if it's fixed, that's good. Right. So back to this. now, Mopes told me what cap I need. Right, alright then, good, some progress. Right, now let's, I'm on the wrong window, right, let's go and get a cap. I'll be back shortly. Get my donut pile. And I don't know if I've got any. Actually, I may actually have some. I should have some. I'll see if I've got any caps. Because I have to shout now. Come over the room. Right, what did he say it was? Right. Oh, they're completely the wrong shape. Right. Got one. Yeah, this'll do. Wow, that was some journey to get capacitor. But thanks, Mopes, for that. That's a big help. Yep, that's the one. 0.1 microfarad. 0.1 microfarad, sorry. There we go. Right, good. Okay, let's get on with it. That doesn't look quite right. going to be in the other box, isn't it? Right, let's have a look. Better be in one of these bags. What? You're kidding me. Hell with it, I'm going to use this. Okay. This is going well. Oh, that's interesting. There's space on the board for a different kind of cap. Right, anyway. I could have soldered that wire into that. Oh, that's an interesting idea. The black wire goes straight in that little hole in the board. That's a good idea. Right, I'll try and show you this. If you're still here, if anybody's still here, there's a little hole because there's an alternative spot here. You see the little silk screen showing a completely different shaped component. There's another hole there which is continuous with the leg of the cap, so I'll be able to put this black wire through there for a nice neat finish, hopefully, if it'll fit. It's a bit wide. It should go in. There we go. Just angle that a little bit. I'm going to ruin this by trying to make it too neat. There we go, it's in. And then the other wire, which go on the bottom leg. Well, it was kind of worth it in the end. Make a little hook, like so. I'm sorry, I'm completely out of vision here. Right, you want to go on there, like so, and there we are. How do you connect this thing to Atari? What thing in particular? This thing here? The CPU board. It plugs into the CPU board slot on the motherboard. Right, so that's the audio wire in. And it's going to just sort of come around here. Come around that way. Yeah, come around that way. And go in here. I believe it goes in that way. Like so. Let's double check that. Oh, don't spoil it. Oops. I did sneak a test. It is. I'm going to. You'll have to wait till the end, but it is. I was pretty knocked out by the video output here. I seem to remember seeing some photos of that machine, if you posted any. I think you did. I feel kind of bad. I cut the pins between the power SIO monitor board and wired directly to the monitor jack. Yeah, if I had gone that route, I would have probably put a connector on it, but when I looked a bit further, I mean, Jürgen, he described how to do that, but you had to look quite closely through the thread to see where he'd described. And yeah, you were short of time anyway. Okay, so have I got this the right way around? Does he have a picture? Ah, yes. There's a picture showing which way the cable goes, so I have got the cable the right way around. That's good. Wrong insertion may kill all components. Wow. Well, that's something we definitely don't want. So, what I think we'll tackle first is, well, what we're going to tackle first is Now this is all going to fit in the cage, hopefully. So this is going to come around. I think I'll have the cable going which way? This is a good question. So we've got one cable going around that way. Maybe we have this cable going around this way. I don't see any reason why not. Perhaps we should do a test fit of some sort. See how best stuff's going to fit. So if that come around the front here, let's say, yeah, that's going to work. So if we put the video cable around the near side here, the nearest side to the PSU board, it should fit. In fact, there's a bit more room on this side, so this probably looks the one. I think we'll take it around this side. So let's do that, and let's remind ourselves where we're going to remove components. We are going to remove okay, it's for an 800. I didn't know it existed. I was wondering where if you fit this in an XL. I feel stupid. Yeah, that's I put 800 in the title, hopefully, hoping that that would be descriptive. Okay, so L104, L105, and R189. L104, L105, L104 is coming straight from composite video. L105, oh, it tells you on here. L105 is chrominance, and R109 is luminance, and that's a 75 ohm capacitor. So, and I've marked off the one that needs to come off for audio. There's two things we need to take off for audio. We need to remove R194, which is the path from C179 to the audio pin of the connector, and also, I'll show you here, so this is for audio, what we're going to do with audio. So audio is on the second pin of the power board connector here, and that goes to C174, but that's actually a capacitor to ground, so the audio, so removing this will simply sever that connection to ground through the capacitor, and the trace continues all the way along here to R1, can't even read it, is it R194? It's up here on the schematic. So if we follow audio here, coming in here on pin 2, all the way up here, all the way up here, and there's our C178 going to ground, so we need to take that off, and we need to remove R194 as well. And once we've done that, then we can connect the audio wire to the hole in the board where this end of R194 used to be, and we should have a completely isolated path to the connector. And the other one, L104, L104. Now hopefully there's another cap to ground there. Maybe that one doesn't matter. And L104 is on pin 6. So if we locate pin 6 of the power board connector, it should help us find what we're looking for. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 should be composite video. Oh well, C174 is right there, as large as life. C175. Which side is this one? Ah, right, here we go. So C175, I'm assuming, is right underneath pin 5. C174, and pin 6 is indeed the cap. Have a look here. So pin 5, which is what is pin 5? I don't know. Anyway, pin 6 is the one we're interested in, and this goes to this side of the capacitor. So this cap needs to come off. The one on the inside nearest to the connector. Let's take this off. With this useless desoldering tool. Not the easiest thing to work on this. I mean, I don't really care if I destroy this cap. Ooh, a bit more solder on here. This 40-year-old solder. Right, I'm going to heave this thing out. There we go. There we go. That's one C175 gone. A lot of points on the board have holes for capacitors with different footprints, which is quite interesting. I'd noticed that before. Right, that's that off. What's next? For an XL, look into something called UAV. This board uses that video circuit along with a few other mods not related to video. Yes, indeed. This is a verbatim implementation of UAV, or includes it. Right, let's just have a look next. Now I need to take off. Alright, C174. Oh, and C174 needs to come off as well. So we'll take that off. And let it solder to hurry things along. Get that one, original. Lots of bad fakes around. Are there bad fakes of UAV? Oh God, this bloody thing. Piece of shit. Try the spare. Oh, fuck, I use wick. Oh, so I hate that through hole stuff. It's just such a pain to get shit off. I hope my goot wick comes from China soon. Get very low on wick. I think I turned the iron down when I was working on a fragile board earlier. I'm going to turn it back. Because this board sinks an awful lot of heat. Let's get some flux on the board. That's better. They certainly didn't skimp on the solder at the factory. Got another 400 downstairs waiting for similar treatment to this, but not with the CPU board, just a standard sort of 400 monitor hack. Of course, the quality is nowhere near as good as this, but the owner didn't buy a CPU board for it. He just wants the That's the basic monitor jack. Know the link. A solder put tin sucker. Oh god, yeah, I'm under no illusions that this is a fake. It cost about £1. I did have one that was heated, which I really liked. I had 2 of those, but they both died. And the one I want's about £100. Right, so C174 and 175 are off. And C176. So where the hell is C176? I need to write a little guide with pictures for this so we can home in on the components quickly. C176 is on pin 3. So let's get to pin 3. Is it that easy? 176? Looks like it's a direct connection. And it is. Yep. That's the end capacitor. And then we've got a couple of inductors to take off. And then hopefully, after that, we just solder our wires in and we're good to go. And where's my little screwdriver gone? What the hell is this on the floor? Ew. But if you haven't checked out the previous video, aside from Atari stuff, of course, there's the added attraction of my wife coming back from the bingo and treating us all to an incredible expletive-laden complaint. She did win money, a small amount of money at the bingo, but she was waiting on some other numbers that never came up, and yes, it was very colourful, but it got quite good views for 24 hours, that video, so I'm considering inviting Deborah to participate more in these videos. So I think that happens about 45 minutes in or something. I found it quite funny because she just doesn't care. Be a bit careful with this one. There's a lot of solder on the other side of this board. Where was I? Pin 3. I've got this horrible feeling I'm going to run out of wick. I've just ordered some from a domestic seller because I'm in a hurry. Because I'm wicking the wrong end. But we have to treat these boards with respect. Andre is linked to a desoldering tool in the other video, by the look of it. That's helpful. Thank you. By Edson. I love English swearing. My folks are both masters at it. Oh well, I'll put the link in. Actually, I didn't do the end title for that. Oh, shut up. Wait a minute. I'll find it.
20 quid each.
Oh, here we are. Is this video? I'm gonna have to maximize this window to see what the hell I'm doing. Right, I want time stamp. Right. That should do it. Round about there. It was just, I mean, if you meet Deborah, she's just lovely. She's just the kindest person. But she comes across as very what's the word? Wow, what is the word I'm looking for? She doesn't modify her behaviour to suit the occasion. Let's put it that way. She just doesn't care. When people say they don't care, often they do, but she just doesn't. I think she does. I think she puts it on a bit as well because she knows it's funny. But yeah, if you didn't, if that was your first impression of her from, pretty scary. Does anybody know if there's a full schematic of Sophia RGB discard? Oh, you're having a hell of a time getting that bloody cable to work, aren't you? I don't know. I haven't got one. I really don't know. I really need to heat this from the butt. What? Oh. Right, that should come out a bit easier. Really haven't done much work on this board as far as removing stuff, and yeah, quite robust. There we go, it's off. Jesus Christ. The only time I had hands-on with a Sophia was when I was installing one for somebody else, and it was the component version. Well, no, it was you had a component cable, and it would not work on this LG TV through the component in, but it would work. It did work on a Samsung that I tried, so I don't know what that was all about. It's not universally compatible by any stretch. I mean, cool little device. I certainly wouldn't say no. But I'm still annoyed that you can't detect the damn thing in software. I find that quite annoying because you've got you can poke the GTI address space to get different color options and stuff, but how does software know that it's capable of doing that if it doesn't know if the hardware is actually present? It's not a case of just wanting to detect stuff so you can flash messages on the screen and stuff like that. I mean, it's actually there's a reason behind this thinking of being able to detect stuff in hardware. And Candle was always very good at that, putting signatures, hardware signatures on things so that you could actually know it was present. I have the VBXE. Oh, Atari has got a VBXE, yeah. VBXEs are great. Very underused, which is probably why the Sophia is popular, and Sophia is cheaper as well. But I mean, I'm heavily invested in the VBXE, and I have to thank, I should really take the opportunity while I'm here to thank Wes. I don't know if he minds me. I won't say his surname, just in case, you know, some people are sometimes a bit funny about this, but thank you to Wes. You may remember a machine that I featured a couple of weeks back that had come back some years after I'd built it. It had the SIO to SD built into the top of the machine, and it came back because it had a problem with cartridges. And there's a video from about 2 weeks ago about cartridge repairs, and I told Wes that he was going to have problems because he had one of the Sloopy VBXEs that came in about 5 years ago, which needed some work. And it was only recently that I discovered these VBXEs, all of them, the green ones, have a problem. The screen, the RGB display dies if you write to the EVR while there's a Site 2 plugged in. Don't ask me why. I've talked to Jürgen about this, and it is quite a baffling problem. Normal VBXEs, Candle VBXEs, Litharek VBXEs, no problem at all. But so I told Wes that he was going to have problems with the new BIOS in his Ultimate because the new BIOS writes to the EVR when trying to detect the board. So he bought another one to replace the green one from Litharek, and he bought me one as well because the green one I had obviously was next to useless because of this. Yes. So Wes bought himself a new VBXE, and he bought me one as well for my 800XL, and he even let me keep the old green one that he took out of the machine. So thank you, Wes, very much. Thank you again in person, as it were, for that. That was a big help because the expense of replacing that board, which I paid for in the first place, let's not forget, without realizing it had an inherent issue. So that was one of the most generous donations I've seen in a long time. Holy shit, I love her accent, says Mopes. Very different to my folks. Well, the funny thing is, Deborah's got this sort of accent where people think she's Scottish or something like that, but she's not. She was born in Newcastle. But yeah, she's definitely unique. That's the word I would use. Yeah, this is definitely a slow motion thing. I do test recordings, offline test recordings with the camera, and everything looks smooth, and then when it comes to streaming time, it's like a slideshow. It's really weird. I don't know. Right, what else have I got to take off? Let's get these inductors off the board. L104, L105, and R189. This is taking a long time. Right, L104, L105. Right, so we've got the caps off. We've got 176. Oh, you can't see this, can you? So we've just removed C176, C175, C174, which are all capacitors to ground. So we need L104, L105, and R189 off the board next. So R189 should be easy to find because it was just upstream from C174. So let's follow the path. So C174, this end's ground. You can't see, I'm in the wrong view again. This end's ground. So this end here, we can actually trace it with by eye. It's R189, so it's the, what is that, red, brown, I don't know what the hell value it is. Anyway, that's the one that's got to come off. So it's so warm at the moment, this flux is more or less activated before I even touch it with the iron. Alright, let's get this stuff off here. I suppose the inductors are probably more or less either side of this, but obviously I'm going to check. I see they come out nice and easy. Right, yeah, the inductors are, oh well, yeah, I was absolutely right. L104 and L105 appear to be immediately either side of the, yeah, they are. Right, so those two black inductors need to come off as well. And then we clear up and solder the wires in, and we should be good to go, although I need to take off also need to remove R194 and another cap for the audio, and then we should be good to go. Right. Oh, this is amazingly fiddly. It's the sheer bulk of this whole machine. It's like an XA or an XL. It's flimsy and you can just throw it around, and this thing is just big. Alright, let's see if this is going to do any good here. I'm going to have to use the blast of the wick. Oh no, look at that, perfect. I think it around the connector area, it's just so dense with copper and solder, it's quite hard to get the solder out. As it is here. But it's so nice to not be picking up Radio 5 anymore on the microphone. I was tuning it in earlier on today and it was, oh, this pop music started. So I'm working on the assumption that if I can hear pop music, then it's possible that someone who's trying to tune into that radio channel to listen to pop music can actually hear me talking about soldering. That would be alarming. Probably on some illegal frequency or something. I wouldn't be surprised. Okay, 2 more components to come off and then we solder the wires on and then we're done, just to give you some incentive to continue watching. Right. Next one, I marked this one, so we know this one needs to come off. This is for the audio. And I think I marked the resistor. I'm going to double check, because I don't trust my memory. I'm at the wrong end of the cap. Right. Oh, that's handy. All those 4 components are all in a row now. I've got flux on the end of the meter. Right. A little bit of flux there. Ah, love flux. Bit of solder. get things loosened up. Let's get the mood going a bit. Yeah, this was a board built to last alright. And last it certainly has. Excellent. Last component off the board. Clear these holes out and then we're nearly finished. I hope the audio was worth it. Breaking that cap, what a nightmare. And of course, thanks again to Jürgen who sent this board in. I think he wants something from me in return for it, from software. But he's very generous anyway, and he sent me lots of nice things. So Deborah's at the quiz tonight, so unless I get finished within half an hour, you might be treated to another extravaganza of colloquialism. There we go. Right, now I get the chat window open again. There's a lot of catching up to do. I'm not using that acidic acetone on this board either. Good old isopropyl. There's some old flux under this board. Ugh. 40-year-old flux. Might be worth taking a couple of photos of this area while the stuff's off the board, in case Jürgen would like a pictorial guide to this stuff, so we'll take a picture before we proceed. Oh, my back! And where's the phone? Don't say I've left my goddamn phone downstairs. Sure I have. Put this box of spares up here. That should be but a moment. Right. Take some high quality pictures. The light is very good in here now. Right, get it close in. A couple of different angles. Take a few in case they don't come out. That'll do. Right. I want to make 48K modification to my Atari 400. Oh wow. The 400 I've got downstairs here has a 48K modification on it. Right, so now we know pretty much where everything needs to go, so we have a good idea how long this wire needs to be. I'm paranoid about making it too short. If I cut it about here we should have plenty of spare. Alright then. Yeah, because we're going to go in. We're going to go in here, 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 and here. Are we not? Yes. Yes, we are. I'll just prevaricate for a little bit more. Stop beeping, I'm beeping here. Oh, is that when the meter was beeping? Since I use flux, my life has changed already. Oh, God, yes. Mine too. Oh, everything about soldering that was supposed to be easy and seems difficult becomes easy when you start to use flux. So we're going to strip this back. Now this is all going to be, this should all be inside of the cage, but I want to be sure. If we solder on the, we don't want to be soldering here because this is outside of the cage. We want to be soldering inside of the cage, so it's going to have to be these points here, I would say. What does it matter? I can't remember if this thing is lifted up. Let's hope there's a way for this wire to come out. Oh yes, there is. So this wire is going to go around the front here, and it's going to come out. Oh. It's going to go around here. There we go. Oh, right, it's gonna. So, Oh, it doesn't really. Does it make any difference? Yes, it does. Yes, it does. Yes, so we want to solder in those inner points. What's these two long-legged components here? Oh, let's never snip them off. Got to snip those legs off. Right. Right. I'll strip this back. Here in Chile, we don't have the SCCC connection. Oh. Soldering without flux is like trying to TIG weld without shielding gas. Yeah. I could come up with all sorts of analogies, but some of them probably a little bit edgy. We'll go strip this back quite a ways, I think. This computer seems nuclear war ready. Yeah. Yeah, they are. Yes, they are. The only things that would survive a nuclear war, full-scale conflict, are which insects are supposed to? Well, some insects are supposed to survive, aren't they? Locusts or something, or crickets. And Atari 800s, of course. This took a lot longer than I thought. Right, so that's the shield, which is more or less redundant because it's never going to make it as far as the jack, and the jack has ground connected to shield anyway. So I checked that out with Jürgen. He says it doesn't make any difference. So really, that's a good point. Should I short the shield and ground at this end, or should I just snip the shield off? I'll let chat decide. Is this a strain relief code? Yeah, snip that off. Because if I short the shield to, because the shield isn't going to be, the shield is on that side. Well, the shield won't be connected to anything anyway, will it? Over here. So, it doesn't make any difference. How many friggin' wires is there on here? I've got one more at this end than I have at this end, so the pink wire. Is he using the pink wire as shield as well, or what? I'm gonna have to have a look. I'll finally get to test the new Incognito BIOS out on something with this nice video. That's going to be released definitely this weekend. And somebody emailed me at the weekend from Poland saying, "Hey, when are you going to release this Ultimate 1 megabyte BIOS update?" And I said, "Oh, at the weekend." I should have probably specified which weekend. I was a bit cheeky there. I did actually intend it to be last weekend, but it didn't happen. I just didn't have time. Right, so is this. So the pink wire is connected to the shield. Yeah, so he's using shield and pink, so they are both entirely redundant, I think. Because the shield... Well, he has connected it to ground. So ground is connected to the shield at this end anyway, so it doesn't make... It seems to me it doesn't make any difference. I might as well just chop those ones off. If you don't have flux around, simply add a bit of new solder to get ancient solderings running. Yes, of course, and not least because, well, for two reasons that adding solder will help get things flowing. As I look at a slow motion slideshow, two reasons that will get things going is because, one, most solder has flux built into it, so when you add more solder you're also adding flux. And secondly, if you use 60/40 solder and the job you're trying to desolder is lead-free solder, the 60/40 solder with the lead in it has a lower melting point than the lead-free solder, so by mixing the two together you're lowering the melting point of the job and making it easier for the solder to flow when you heat it with the iron. So there's two very good reasons why you should add more solder, because without any flux the solder it's just absolute hell. It just goes lumpy and it just doesn't move at all. I never used the stuff at all. I just relied on what was in the solder until about less than 2 years ago, I think. No, I tell a lie actually. I did use solder, but I did use flux, but not in such a routine fashion. It was like a last resort when something wouldn't come apart. But then I started to watch Lewis Rossman on YouTube, and by God, Lewis Rossman uses a lot of flux on his stuff. I even bought the same flux because it's good stuff. And the bad flux is almost as useless as no flux at all. But yes, I wouldn't be without it now. It just makes everything nice, and of course the quality of joints when you're actually soldering. If you're doing the same goes for surface mount as well. I mean, surface mount, it's brilliant because the tacky flux holds the components that sort of sit on the board, and everything goes nice and shiny, and hot air stuff into place. It's a pleasure. Makes it nice. Oh, my back. I've been sitting in this one position for far too long now. So right, okay, stream keeps freezing for me. It froze for me as well, just there in the preview window, because I've got the YouTube preview open as well, and it did freeze, so maybe there's an upstream problem. I don't know. Maybe it's my router again. I don't know, frame drops. I have no idea. There's nothing I can do about it from this end. The router looked like it had died on Saturday morning, and of course I thought I had a spare, but it was an ADSL2 plus router, and this being a fibre connection, it wouldn't work. It took me a few hours to figure that out. So I'm going to chop these off, okay? I'm going to chop the shield and this pink wire because they're both connected to ground at the other end anyway, and they are completely unnecessary for the purposes of... in fact, the ground wire as well, which is also the grey wire, is going to be completely redundant as well because we're going to have nowhere to put it. Unless I just tie it to ground at this end, I don't know if there would be any utility in doing this. That's if anybody's still out there. Maybe if the router's dead, I'm probably talking to myself. Okay, so let's shorten these wires. We're getting magically close now. I'm going to leave this. I'm just going to peel these back now because I just want to get the damn thing tested. So the the white one, the grey one is the one I'm going to put back because that's the other ground wire. So the wires we're interested in are luma, chroma, ground, luma, chroma, composite video, and audio. So that's these four here. So I'm going to shorten them a little bit. Having tinned them. Okay, and now we figure out which is which. We'll have a look at the schematic, will probably be helpful. So, Mighty Text not signed in. I've got this horrible feeling. You still there, everybody? I had this awful feeling that the internet had died. Right. So, pin. Right, so L, we can figure this out. L104 is composite video, so L104 is composite video, so if we look, a composite video is composite video is yellow. So the yellow wire needs to go to where L104 used to be, at this end, which is the isolated end. You're not going to put it at this end, because if you put it to this side of the coil, we're just going to hook composite video up to the original composite video circuit, so we're going to put it at the far end of the coil, where the coil used to be, and we're going to use our patented blue tack technology, our blue tack wire restraining technology. Nobody else is allowed to use this idea. We'll use our patent wire restraining technology to keep that wire in place until we solder it. Right, where the hell did that go? I have no idea. Oh, there it is. Solder you in there. Next is L105 is chrominance. So L105 L105 is the next one along, I believe. I hope. I hope I got this right. Have I got this right? Probably not. Oh no, I haven't got this right. I've got this wrong. Oink. Yeah, L104 is at the back. L104 is at the back here. Idiot. Right. That's better. Right. L104, L105 rather, is at the front, and it's chrominance, and chrominance is on the brown wire. Chrominance is on the brown wire, so we're going to put the brown wire right here. Keep it in place. Solder it in. So we've got our composite video, our chrominance, and what the fuck happened there? Oh yes, I just put it in the wrong hole. I soldered the wrong. Yes, I grow weary. I put it in the wrong hole. Never a good idea. Right, so brown at the front here. That one there. Double check. Chrominance L105 at the front. It's done. Next, 2 more wires before we should be able to get a picture of this thing. Grey is ground, so we ignore that. Audio is green. Now audio goes at the front, so white must be luma, and luma goes in the middle. If all my calculations are correct, which they're almost certainly not. All right. And the last one is audio, which is going at the front. Okay, that's our connections. Just bend these back for a moment. Oh, right, should close this. I'm here. Good. The internet's still there. That's a relief. Well, that's the last of the wick. Had to do expedited delivery on the one I ordered because I can't wait. Who lets themselves run out of wick? What sort of idiot does that? A bit of a tidy up. Before we figure out if it works. Anything we can keep, we'll keep. Anything we can throw out, we'll throw out. Optimistic and assume that it works. Yeah. We should do some basic measurements just to be pretty sure that we've done the right stuff here. Oh! I'm going to need the capture card, and I'm going to need a cable out the back of the monitor. There we go. Okay, keep that to one side for a minute. Whew. If I've missed anything. The creator of the card wrote, "Don't expect a higher quality than the regular Atari 800S video output. It might be better, but I can't promise. So why are you installing this to Atari 800? Sorry if that's a stupid question." No, it's a reasonable question. The Atari 800 is renowned for having pretty good video, but what you get from this board is still light years ahead of what you get from the stock video. It just it's just night and day as far as definition, color saturation, clarity. It's just the way modern video solutions just tend to be nicer. And of course, there's a lot of research went in. Brian put a lot of research into designing the best possible, basically as far as he could possibly take S-video and composite. That's what Brian did. So although the original video is nice, in the context of other machines from that era, the output from this device, assuming it works, of course, I'm going to look a bit stupid if it doesn't, but is just much nicer. It's I've tested it earlier on, and it does not disappoint. Another thing with especially LCD TVs that they have obviously there's a lot of analog to digital conversion going on. So these, while the YC video of an 800 might look quite nice on a CRT monitor, a good quality CRT monitor, when it's subjected to the scaling algorithms of an LCD TV, it doesn't often fare so well. And in the case of this machine and on this particular TV, I was getting very narrow. It was like the text characters look sort of spidery and narrow, like they just wanted to be more fat. That was one of the nicest things about VBXE, is that the characters are fat and well defined, and I could never quite get away with that. I didn't like the stock video. So this is an absolute godsend, and it does not disappoint in any way, shape, or form. It's the closest thing to RGB video you're going to get without RGB video, basically. So there you go. That's why. And if I'd had to buy this board, I would have eventually bought one anyway. Especially having seen it, it's just worth it. I know the board lets you use the older new style 650T CPUs, as well as providing easy solder points for the 2 wires Incognito needs. Yes, correct. As you can see, there's 2 wires right there. The UAV was a big improvement to my 800 video, but I believe the main idea for this board was to provide a monitor port to 400s. Yeah, probably was, but it's like night and day as far as quality goes. So I'm going to do a final check to make sure I've got the right pins. I must have, surely. So so L104, help if I showed you the schematic. I'm probably sick of the schematic anyway. The L104 comes down here, and that is our composite video signal. So the L104 has been removed, and we are going, and C175 is removed, and we're going to go for this point here. Well, say here. L105 goes to pin, well anyway, let's check this, that's pin 6, so we should have continuity between the yellow wire, which is the 3rd one along, and pin 6, and if we turn which we have, so that one's correct. Next, L105 goes to our chroma pin, which I believe is pin 3, and chroma is brown, and we get continuity there as well. Good. R189 goes to, I'll show the mouse, goes to pin 5, and that is our luminance. So luminance should have continuity on pin 5, and I can't remember what color wire it is. It's white, so it's the 2nd pin along. Should have continuity on pin 5, and it does. So that just leaves us with audio, which is on green wire. And now audio, if we remember, was on pin 2. So pin 2 should have continuity with the green, and it does. So as far as I can tell, the wiring is correct. Right, as far as I can tell, the wiring is correct. So, as long as there's no connections that I've forgotten about upstream from these jumper wires, should be good. Right, now power board. Ugh. I was pleased that the oh, there we are. I was pleased that the ribbon cable replaced in the previous video last night. I replaced the ribbon cable that goes from the MMU on the motherboard to the Incognito. This ribbon cable here was shot, so I replaced it, and I got really confused about which way around everything went, but it does work. I tested it earlier on, it does work, which is kind of unfortunate. Where the hell is the wire? Come on, to get down under the desk. To get this. Right. Turn the iron off as well. I'm so optimistic. There we go. Right. I don't know if these, even though if this is going to work with the capture card, I haven't tried it, so it may just not work. I've forgotten anything? Connect that there. So should we turn it on and see what happens? Got the keyboard as well. I don't know if we're going to need it yet. Hey! There we go. Ah. Oof. Works. Works. Audio's off because I turned it off, of course. Do we want to risk turning it on again and get pops back? This capture card it's not very good, by the way, so I'll switch inputs at some point and you can see how it looks on the monitor. Yeah, but no, I just think it's the capture card mopes. It's shit. Yeah, it's really awful. Let's try the. Oh, wait a minute. Plug the keyboard in as well. I mean, I don't remember the clocking line has been there before, so there might be something to do with the way it's wired up. Maybe it doesn't like passing around here. It might be better when it's got the cage on, you know what I mean? Or maybe it's better when it's got the cage back on. Because that video cable is running right underneath the regulator, so it's probably not helping. Still looks better than it did through the capture card, but let's put it through the monitor, and I'll have to Switch sources. Unfortunately. Right. Tell you what, this 800 looks much less discoloured on camera than it does in real life. It looks grey, and it's actually kind of yellow. Right. Okay. Right. Pull this out. As far as it will go. And switch sources. I don't know what this is going to look like. I'll try and put the camera somewhere where you can see. I have no idea. I should have probably done this before I switched sources, shouldn't I? That would have been sensible. Right. Nightmare. Right, this is about as good as it's going to get. It's definitely not as good as it was through the other cable, so I'm thinking that I think I should connect that ground up as well at the other end. Oh, definitely. It's a grounding issue. I've seen this before. That ground needs to be connected. That's why it doesn't look good. So we'll have a quick look at that and see if it makes a difference. It should do. Absolutely. So we'll have a little look at the ground issue. I'm going to go back to the capture card because it's just horrendously inconvenient. But yeah, that's why it looks bad. It's a grounding problem. It's hard to tell whether this is on or off. This LED takes so long to go out. Right. Let's have a look. So, we've got ground on grey and pink. So really, since these caps all went to ground, ground should be very, very easy to pick off, which it is. Ground is on this whole inside edge is all ground. Flux. Right. Let's have a look here. Lift this off. Ah, that looks somewhat improved. So we need to connect ground at the... Yeah, connecting ground at this end seems to make a big difference. Let's have one more look at the... it's definitely a ground thing, no question about it. Have another look. Exactly the same thing happened the first time I installed one of these boards, because that time I'd wired the ground to the wrong pin on the jack. So really, yeah, it's obviously, Christ, yes, there needs to be a direct path from the jack, the ground pin on the jack, to the video cable. If we haven't got that, we're going to have problems. So I'll switch sources again and have a quick look, see if it looks any better. Oh, it does. Quite a lot better, actually. Oh, I'll give you a look at this. It's a hell of an improvement. Am I on the right camera? Jesus, yes, I am. Here we go. This is a bit better, isn't it? It's got the tiniest, tiny little sort of moire pattern around it that it didn't have before with the other cable, but it is very, very nice. And that is 10 times better than the stock video of this machine. It's really, really nice. I don't know if I can probably in too close there. Back here, maybe. I have no idea. So there we go. So that's just about how just about what I expected it to be. There's possibly going to be a slight degradation because of not having the separate shield. I don't know. I'm not too sure, but it looks good to me. It's really, really nice. I'm very, very happy with that. And thank you again to Jürgen for sending me the board. Hello. Hello. Whoa. I'm on autofocus. That's something of a definite improvement. I think I need a more powerful computer for this streaming. Donations are welcome. Yeah, CPU is really struggling here. There we go. Wow. Whew. So yes, I'm very happy with that. All sharpness went into the Atari now. Yeah, absolutely right. Very good. Wow, well, that was two and a bit hours of interesting stuff. I'll feature this machine again in a video about the BIOS, because I need to compile that and flash it to the machine. So the next time you see this, it'll be all reassembled and packed up. I think I'll play with this shield wire as well, maybe grounding the shield wire. And the fact that this, turn this off now. The fact that this wire is currently going right underneath this rectifier, it's not going to help. We're going to have the Faraday cage on. Everything's going to be sweet. But I hope you can appreciate the quality of that video, because it is really, really nice, and it's genuinely miles beyond what you would see from a stock machine. So with that, it's gone 11 o'clock now. So yes, thank you for watching. It's been a lot of fun, despite the broken capacitor. So hopefully you found that useful. If I get time, I'll maybe just send the photos to Jürgen if he wants to use them at all. But thanks for watching. Thanks for the chat. It's been very good. Thanks for everyone who turned up and contributed, and hopefully you found it interesting. So I shall see you in the next video. Thanks for watching, and bye for now.